Alright guys, what is up? It is Gnomes. We have here a bit something different for you guys, just because I was asked to do a bit of a deck explanation for my Skeezick battle group, so that's what I'm going to be doing here. Now, my door is open, so I'm going to go close that real quick. Alright, there we go. So, door's closed. Let's go check it out. So, I don't play Skeezick too much. I played them a lot when I was starting out in the game. I think my first main deck was so back in the day, I played IS, the given battle group, the IS one. Then my first battle group that was given to me by a guy named UYHT, he gave me, I believe it was SL Sand. And then after that, I played, what was it? Maybe Voil or Moga. And after that, I played Skeezick. So I think it was like my third or fourth battle group that I mained was Skeezick back, 10, 12 years ago. So a long time ago. And I play them every once in a while. I think they're a very well-rounded battle group. They can beat a lot of really top battle groups if you get the right draws and if you, play against the right battle groups. They're just very, consistent. That was the word I forgot last time. They're very consistent. And they can get a lot of victories. So let's go through this. So first of all, first champion we have here. Actually, I don't know if I want to go by champion, really. All right. Half Skeezick is the first one I have. I might actually, right now I'm going 2x, but I might go down to 1 in favor for another spell. All right, see, this is what happens. Let's see. All right, so this half Skeezick is 78 Nora, so it's a tiny bit on the expensive side. Before that, you get very good stats, right? 2 defense in SL means you're at 4 defense. 46 health, 11, and 6. But then what's really big here is just that War Cry. So War Cry with multi-attack means you can pretty often get an attack off and get the War Cry off. And then you're quite tanky as well with regen and some good defense. So pretty hard to kill, a good beater. Generally, you do want him in the fight with all your other champions. But he's pretty good for 78 Nora. I don't think you would ever go for these other abilities. I think this is how you would play him every time. The only time you would ever play him with Battle Harden, I think, because this is faction with it, so I guess it is SL, and SL with more health is pretty insane, but I think Warcry is just too strong. You could actually do that, though. You could, we could discuss this, put it that way, between going one of them with Battle Hardened and the other one with Warcry. It's hard to say, because a lot of the time I've noticed, if I'm playing a beater, I'm trying to play like the Blackguard, I guess. Blackguard's probably the best beater that Skeezick have, but I actually do really like the half Skeezick. It's hard to say, but I like the half Skeezick, so good champion. Resilient Skeezick, I used to have 2 of these, but now I only have 1, because you could go with this champion. Like if you like the Resilient Skeezick, for example, more than the Blackguard, which I did initially, then I would play 2 half Resilient Skeezicks, and I'll go 1 with Commander and 1 with either Loyalty or Alliance. And then he'd be really cheap and very hard to kill. And with the Skeezick Rebel, and he'd get he'd be very tanky, that kind of stuff, with Regen 3, right? You go like Regen 3, and then let's say you go, I guess you could do this. You're then 68 Nora for Regen 3 Skeezick Alliance, and you're like, okay, how do I ever kill this thing? It's just going to be in my face. But generally, the Blackguard is a bit stronger. Just because even though he is more expensive, he has Glorious Leap, meaning, and that's usually the problem with those non-range champions like melee, right? So if you can only attack champions 1 square next to you, the problem is getting in. Often you'll be stopped by a tank, or you'll be stopped, like a tank will get in your way, or you'll be stopped by, a relic that's in your way that's like slowing you down, something like that. And that's what this Glorious Leap gets around. You can leap over it. But what's just so insane is this champion kind of does what Skeezick wanted to do. And what Skeezick wanted to do is get to 3 champions, or 3 to 5, and then just start pushing, in my opinion. This is how I think of it. This is how I haven't really analyzed, let's say, because this is a very hard thing to do in Poxnora. You don't ever get, let's say, 10 games, one after the other, played by a very good player, and then you can just analyze their gameplay. Like, I can only analyze my own if I'm playing Skeezick, right? But my idea on how to play this would be to play 3 to 5 champions and then really just move forwards. You don't even have to play spells, but because your champions are so hard to kill that you can often just move forwards and they have nothing to do. You could also go Relic Guardian. I think I have 1 with Relic Guardian and the other one with Regen. I think I'm playing half-half. Yeah, exactly. Because I don't know how to play them. Like I said, I don't play this deck that much. So I was testing. So I was saying, hey, Regen and Relic Guardian both look like they can be very good. But I think Glorious Leap you go no matter what. You don't ever go for the Rebel or the counterattack melee. Or melee, however you want to say it. So I think Glorious Leap you go no matter what, but you could choose either Regen or Guardian. It's kind of hard to say. Because Regen on a champion that's so tanky is nice. But the Relic Guardian means when you attack enough, all of a sudden you'll get +4 damage and 2 defense, right? So it's also really good. And you can get that damage, or you can get the relics with these 3 as well. You don't need to have the Blackguard banner. You can also get the Phalanx Marker, the banner as well, or the Skeezick banner. Anyway, so very good melee champ. If I were to play this battle group, and when I do play this battle group, this is how it usually happens. I go first turn half Skeezick, second turn Skeezick Whirl, third turn where is it? Vanguard. And then fourth turn Bolter, and then fifth turn Drummer, and then you just move forwards and you win most of the time. Because what happens is you have half Skeezick first. He gets to the middle font. He can just chill there because, like I said, he's tanky. He can chill there for a turn or two. Then you play your Whirl, which means that he can move forward as well. He can either get the side font or just get into where you need him to like kind of stall for like a half a turn. Then you play your Vanguard, which gives your next 2 champions initiative, right? Because of the lead the charge. So now you have 1, 2. So that's 2 champions plus this one. This is now your 3rd champion. Now all your champions all of a sudden have 2 damage. And then you can either move in this turn, either you move in the next one or the one after this. So after you play the Vanguard, you can move in the turn after, or the one in 2 turns or in one after this. So now you have Vanguard. So then if you want to go in already next turn, you play the Drummer, which will then get, because it will have initiative, right? The champion will have initiative. You can run in, you can play the Drummer and play Battle Drum right away. That's why this combo is so strong. So you can go 1, 2, 3, play him, Battle Drum, or you wait a turn, play the Bolter first, because then he can get into mid font really quickly because he has reinforcement. So then he'll have initiative and reinforcement. So he'll come onto the map with somewhere around 11 AP. So he's all of a sudden, even though you play him at your home font, he's all of a sudden at he's in the middle really, really quickly. So you go again. I'm gonna keep saying this over and over again. So first you go half Skeezick, then you go Whirl, or you could go Netter. It doesn't really matter. One of the range champion, I would say though. So half Skeezick, into Whirl, into Vanguard, into Bolter, into Drummer, Battle Drum, Quicken, and then you kill 2 champions and you win the game. That's how it usually goes. And if that's not how it goes, if you have a bit of a different type of setup, let's say you don't have a middle font or whatever, then you can still, just play regularly. But doing that often gets you the win. Let's see what else. So yeah, again, the Battle Drummer or the War Drummer is really good because he's very tanky. He has 2 defense, first of all. Like, he has very low health, but 2 defense plus Flourish means he's very hard to kill. I don't like either of these upgrades. I've seen them played, but I don't like them myself. I like Flourish because 1, that means the drummer can just chill in a font very long because the enemy can't attack him. Or 2, you're just causing distracted. And I think it's totally worth the Poxnora. And then here, Regen or Skeezick Alliance, you can pick. I have one with Regen, the other one Skeezick Alliance. It's hard to say which one's better. This would make him give him a bit more damage. But I always felt that I would just want him in the back line, just chilling, and then like defending my ranged, and then I could just have him in the back. And then he can heal up, maybe go in, hit once, then run away again and regen up again. I don't know. I have 1-on-1, so you can choose between Regen and Skeezick Alliance. But I definitely like Flourish more than either of these. Filter is nice, though he's kind of hard to play because you have to always play around the Energy Thief. So this can often mess yourself up. So I used to play 2 of these champions because he's so cheap. He's very good, right? He's very cheap. He has stealth. He has knockout, so he can do a lot of value without costing very much himself, right? He's 54 Nora, but a lot of the time they have to spend a lot more Nora to get rid of him because he is stealth and because he does have knockout and all this Energy Thief. So he has a lot of disruption, but I often kind of misplayed myself and would lose because I took AP from my own champion, and then I would misplay because of that, and when I wouldn't get a kill, I wouldn't get an attack off. So that's why I stopped playing this. I just wasn't smart enough for the champion. Netter I like. You don't have to play Netter. I like him because I think he's pretty universally good in the early mid game. He stalls the game, but he can also just do fine. He used to be insane, by the way. He used to have Surge, I believe. But he's still okay with like entangling and punish. Means you can like stall something off of you very quickly. Also, punish is good if you're like against something where they need the AP, for example. I don't know. But entangling attack plus punish means you can like shut something down pretty easily. Also, this gives you grounded. So these three things all are kind of just like, hey, you're not moving, and he's pretty cheap, so I kind of like him. But he's not needed, and he's he's a common. You always want a trigger. First of all, it's a good range champion. It has barrage, which is good, but also just because of relic overload, right? I mean, generally you do yourself also play a lot of relics because you do have these two as well as the ones coming out from the Blackguard. But if there's ever like a Tomb of Hate or a Unholy Tomb or something that you really need to get rid of, then the relic overload is just, definitely very much so worth it. Vanguard, like I said, you always generally want to play this third. I really like playing this third. That way I get the most value out of Lead the Charge. And it moves into having the Skeezick Alliance up then very well. Because then you have third, you play this third, and then fourth, fifth, both have initiative, and then your champions at turn 5 or champion 5 all of a sudden all have two damage and 1 defense. And then also that's generally when you want the champion anyway, when you want drive and stuff. Often you don't actually attack with this champion because here it says empowered speed. This champion has 1 speed and mobility. This ability is removed after 3 basic attacks, but you don't actually attack with this champion very often. You often are just using drive, so you can use the mobility from this. So you can like attack twice and then not attack again and then just run around. Because you have mobility, it's very hard to kill you because you can't like stick on him, and he has like 4 defense with the SL bonus and tough. So he's very tanky and he's just like running around and you're like, dude, why? All he does is like drive your champions. So he's very efficient as like a tank and like utility and that kind of thing. All right. Whirl's very strong because inhibit is very good, knockback is good, and magic attack like always. And obviously like repulsion on a range champion is just insane because you just never get on him. And he's very cheap for 65 Nora. What does suck is he only had 5 speed. But with drive, you do generally have enough AP to do stuff with him. There, okay. I think this champion was probably one of the least... Like, I underplayed this champion so often, and I love that I added this champion, because I used to play him, and I used to have guarded Skeezick, right? And that put him at 76, and I was like, okay, I don't really like 76 normal for this champion. He has weighty, which is bad, and he's just never in mid. But then, all of a sudden, somebody showed me that you can play heal mass. And I knew you could, but I never really saw the value in it until I started playing it. And it's so strong because SL, what do they do well with when they have healing? That's why the Manticore is so strong as well, because he has healing in SL, and SL is so tanky, right? So you can heal on your tanks. It makes this battle group very strong. So then not only do you have a different attack type, so you have now Acid, you have attack Acid, you have a bomb, which is not horrible, then you have blind, which is not horrible to stall things. I don't think you ever go Skeezick Alliance, by the way. You could go Acid Greeting if you really need detection, but I don't think you do because this champion has detection. Yeah, and the heal mass. So yeah, this is a very good champion for 74 Nora. But I would not actually play it any differently. Do not get baited into guarded Skeezick. I got baited into it, and I think this can work on certain champions, but not on the totem. Because he's with weighty, you're always in the back, I feel like. You're never in the front. Or if you are, it takes way too long. And your enemy can just be like, oh, I don't even have to attack this champion, right? Because they can just run around it. They don't have to attack the totem. Half the time you don't because it has Majestic anyway. You just like kill everything else first. So yeah, definitely play heal mass and blind. Anything else? Yeah, no, I don't think you ever go Acid Greeting. All right, and then lastly, the Sentry. So this is why I don't go Acid Greeting, is because this champion has detection. I used to play 2 of these. So how I used to play the battle group is with 2 Sentries and 2 Skeezicks, and then I would not play the Blackguards. But I've now switched 2 of these for the 2 Blackguards because the Blackguard is so strong. All right, so yeah, those are the champions that I play. Now, if we go into spells, Drudonic Sacrifice kind of goes into the whole idea of, hey, just play mid-game and then win the game. Like, you do not want to play Drudonic Sacrifice late because then they'll kill your shrine. But early mid, this is amazing. It basically just puts your champion immune without them being able to see it, right? So they're going to, no matter what, waste 1 attack. So very good early mid. Just make sure not to play it late. And if they do have like a very strong power turn coming up, do not play this. I've had it a few times where my enemy will play this, and then I'll be like, wait, I can just kill your shrine now. And then I'll just all in on that champion and kill the shrine. I've done that like 2 or 3 times against Crezio. Enslave is very good because you can counter the invokes, right? You can just enslave their Overlord and then invoke. Also, just on range champions is very good. Or if they have like a counterattack champion, you can attack it, and then all of a sudden both champions are getting damage. It's only 35 Nora. You're dealing upwards of like 20 damage at the very least if you double tap. So very strong spell. March of the Skeezick gives all your champions 2 AP and 1 speed. So pretty good just for power turns. Obviously Quicken for kills, Quickening for power turns. The reason you don't play Benediction in this battle group is because you already have it from the Drummer, right? So you can go Drummer into Quickening, and that's enough. I play 1-1. Reason is Sandstorm is just so strong. It's good for detection because it's such a large AoE, and it reduces their damage. Their Tornado is good to kill relics. This Waylay, what it does is it gives you a champion right away, so it's good to like keep pushing and like get that early advantage. And then Phalanx Marker is good just for damage or just like to chill in a font because it's quite tanky as relics go. It's 20 health only, but it has tough. Like it has tough 3. It gives you Battle Master, which is good. So, and then Skeezick Banner I like. I don't see too many other people play it, but I really like it. It gives you either Skeezick Alliance or Skeezick Rebel. So, for example, the Skeezick Whirl doesn't have, at least I don't play it. You could play Skeezick Alliance, but I think Slam is much better. You get way more damage this way with Slam. So, you this way, with the banner, you get Skeezick Alliance on him then. And then obviously the War Banner and then Dragon Scat for Dispel for Cleanse. Yeah, and that's basically it. I think I pretty much optimized this battle group. I think it might have one champion too much. Like I said, I think you should have 17, not 18 champions. Maybe I'll remove one half Skeezick for another Quicken, for example. I think that's probably a good play. Yeah, a half Skeezick for a Quicken sounds good. But other than that, this is a pretty optimized battle group, I think. And it has a good counter to everything. You have Detection, you have Shatter, so the Resilient Skeezick has Shatter, right? So you have Shatter, you have first of all, let me put it this way. This battle group does not need counters often because a lot of the time you or the enemy is the one who has to counter this battle group because you're the one moving in and charging. So I often find that they are the one who has to deal with me, not the other way around. So you don't really need the Shatter and Detection as much often, right? But either way, so you have Detection, you have Shatter, you have Cleanse, you have Relic to deal with relics, stuff to deal with relics. You have amazing power turns. You have a way to deal with the Super Champs. You have a way to deal with the relics as well here. The only thing you don't have, I guess, is anti-Nora gen. But like I said, often you're just moving in and you're just gonna move in. So like all those battle groups that are just too like slow and that want to stall you out, you can just move in on and just kill everything. You don't even have to like have anti-Nora gen because if they play, for example, a Extractor, you're just like, okay, that means they have a champion less for at least another 2 to 3 turns until the Extractor gets going, and you can just keep moving forwards. And that's how you want to play this battle group, in my opinion. You want to deploy 5 champions and then just move forwards. It doesn't even matter if you play like a spell to move forwards. I mean, it would be best if you move in with like a Draconic Sacrifice, so they try to kill, but it doesn't work. But you can also just move in and not do anything. If they kill one champion, you just deploy your next champion with like either Bolter or Sentry, because these both have initiative, right? And then boom, you win. So I used to play 2 sentries, and that meant I had 2 times reinforcement, and this one has initiative, I think. Yeah, or reinforcement as well. So yeah, I would 4 reinforcement champs, and then I would have 2 initiative champs from the Vanguard. So you could just keep moving forwards, pushing. And that's how I think you should play Skeezick. So, like I said, play kind of semi-aggressively. Now, if you do happen to get to late game, so if, let's say, all of a sudden, like, your enemy kind of stalls out, it depends what kind of battle group they have. But if they have a battle group that is about as good as you late game, like, you're not amazing, but you do kind of tinker off. Like, you do have okay late game just because you do have a lot of power turns. But you kind of want to keep brawling. But if you do happen to be in this like very, very late game situation where you can't move in on them and they just keep deploying summons, then I think your best bet is actually to go for the Shrine Rush. Because if you can like Battle Drum plus Skeezick Alliance plus Quicken, you can often just insta-kill their Shrine, right? And then you like enslave to deal with their Overlord or something. But yeah, very linear battle group, or not linear, but yeah, it's kind of linear. It has like, it's strong throughout the game. I think it's best mid game, but it's strong throughout the game. You never have a time where you're like feel like you're just losing right away. Like other battle groups are like, oh shit, I can't do anything. I think the biggest thing that counters... Also, they have so many cheap champions, like 65, 69, 54, 55. Like, these are all mid to cheap champions, right? Yeah, like I said, I probably remove one half Skeezick for, like, a quicken. And this is then probably optimized. I haven't played these that much lately. I often play the Blackguard instead because he's so strong. Like, this gives you... Like, yes, this gives you the push once you get the battle drum off. But this just allows you to, like, make sure your mid font is just never taken from you, and you're always just winning middle font right away. So I might do that. We'll see. But yeah, there you go. If there's any, I have so many battle groups, and this is one of them that I do know a bit more. But if you guys want to see a different battle group and want me to talk about it, then I'll just slowly scroll through here. And these are the battle groups that I can kind of talk about. Not all of them. A lot of them I've made and then I never played again. But most of them I have played a bit. So I can give you a bit of an idea. Obviously, the Brute battle groups, all of these I know pretty well. Brute battle groups I know. Markoth, I can't really do that well. The Trolls one I can do. Fairies I can. Garu I can. No, none of the KF ones I could talk about, really. I would have to ask someone else. SL, I can do the... Sand, okay. And the Skeezick. Other than that, the Dragons I'm not so good at. Only from what I've seen, at least. SP, I can talk about all of them. So SP, I can talk about all of the battle groups. UD, I can talk about most of them, I think. Arachnids, I'm good at. Vampires, I've tried a few times. I have like 5 different vampire battle groups that I've tried. I have Forsaken Waste, UD Forsaken Waste. So I have 2 split vampire decks, and then I have 2 normal UD decks that I tried. And I never got it to really work. They're not too strong. Anyway, there you go. Good game, I guess, between myself. I don't know.